at the springboard, you're going to have them lying down in front. You want to make sure that they line up in the center, and you'd be surprised how hard that is for people to figure out, is that they're lined up. And then I have figured out I put like 12 inches or so, but then I started changing it to arm's length. It's pretty much an arm's length away from the floor bar here. So you want to, that way they don't slide up into it and crunch their head. And then I'm going to take the bar, I'm going to put my knees over the bar. And then the nice thing about this position is that I can work in neutral spine safely, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like with the feet and the straps, once I unload the legs, I can work in neutral, and they should be able to stabilize that. Most people. There's a few people who cannot, but most people should be able to stabilize that. So the first one, and one of my favorites, this one was one of my favorites for unloading. It gives, not only does it give you work of stability, but it really unloads the spine. So somebody who has a compressed spine or irritation in their spine, you'll often put their knees over the bar and they'll be like, oh, thank God. They love this position. So it's almost a little bit of a traction type of position that's happening for their spine at the same time. So we start here with toe taps. So I try and cue it as the hips rolling in their sockets and the spine staying still in its neutral position. We usually do about 8 toe taps, and then we switch to heels, right? It makes it a little more challenging because there's a little farther to go. So you're making sure their trunk stays still, right, as they go here. And then we do about 8 of those, and then we do toes, heels, and up. Toes, heels. Toes, heels. Toes, heels, right? So that's the first one there, is knee pulls. Hip ups are keeping the legs are just like on the floor. It's easier to hold on or to have your hands here just to make sure you don't slide upward. So I'm going to actually put my hands not grabbing, but pushing into the bar. I'm going to come up through my knees to my chest and roll down through my spine. And up, knees in, and roll down. So this is not back safe, right? Only the toes, heel taps are back safe. Right? And then, so that's the hip up. And then we can go to parakeet. So parakeet is pulled in. Oh no, I'm sorry. Parakeet is here, feet on the floor. I'm going to bridge upward. And then I'm going to come up, bring my knees in, and roll back down. Right? So bridge upward, lift, come up, and roll down. Right? And then we go the reverse. So we come up, open, feet down first, heels down, roll down. Right, one more. Coming up, open, feet down, heels down, roll down.
So when you go from high to on the mat, before you roll, then you're in neutral. The transition is in neutral?
Say that again, when I go from...
No, when you're high and then you put your feet, then this position is in neutral when you go down.
Yes.
Okay.
Up when I'm here.
Yeah.
This?
Yeah, here,
Yep.
and then this is neutral.
Neutral.
And then you roll. And
Now
you
I roll.
down. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
The half moon variation.
Oh yeah, I skipped that. I skipped that. Okay, so sorry. Half moon. So half moon is basically coming up here, right? This is so for the hip up, we bring the knees into the chest and we roll down.
Right.
Right? For the half moon, we go up, we open here and we go down and up. Down in that half moon. So I don't ever bring my knees in. Right? I keep that scoop. Right. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Half moon is pretty hard. All right, so let's see. So then we have levitated hip fold and levitated knee circle variation. So then I take my feet and I put them against the bar. Right. Hands here, and you should encourage people to put their feet wide at the springs because otherwise they don't have very good control of the bar. So I'm going to come up here. Like I have the hip fold and the what do I have after that? I'm sorry.
Hip
Fold and knee circle. So hip fold, levitated hip fold is coming up and down. And up and down. So you can do it levitated. I've modified it, and I don't know if I put this in your book, but I've modified it without the levitation. Right? So who would I modify that for without the levitation?
With back problem.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you can't do levitated
with the back problem.
with the back problem.
Yeah.
And so same thing for the levitated knee circles is here, here, rolling down, press, and up, right? And then we can reverse that. Right, and so in, coming up. It's fun if you don't have a contraindication. If you do, you can keep your butt down and go through the motion, right? So you can modify it for back safe. Right? And then that is roll down.
Okay.
Roll down. So you basically turn around, facing your springboard, and we go, starting with, you want to squish in a long way to get and put your toes right over the bar here, so that if you are on the springboard and rolling down with bent legs, your legs tend to straighten out. You tend to scoot away a little bit. So you want to start close up. Sitting up tall, take a breath in, exhale, and I'm going to roll my way down one vertebra at a time. Okay? So this is a nice way to do your roll-ups because it will assist. Right? Hollowing. So somebody who can't do the roll-ups on the floor, we talked about when we're doing the floor holding onto the backs of the legs.
Yeah.
Here you could do that, or you could use the springboard. So round back, roll down is pretty self-explanatory, I think, right? And then we go bent legs, straight legs. So straight legs, again, I'm gonna really push my feet into the bar. Little V turn out, sitting up straight. And then same thing, exhaling, hollowing. See how I kind of move away as I roll down, which is why you want to start so squished in there. And then tuck your chin, hollow, rounding your way up, all the way forward, and stacking up from the base of the spine. Right, and then twist round back. I'm going to twist. I'm going to take the bar slightly to one side. That's my twist. All I'm going to do is go down slightly to the left side of my spine. Come across my shoulder blades, slight rotation here, and coming up the other side of my spine. And stacking up, and then going back down the way I just came, trying to lengthen through the spine. Across the shoulders, and coming up. Controlling that, it's really easy to just jump up here. You want to hollow and round your way up. Right, and then stack it up. Right, so that's the twist round back. So then we have flat back. Again, squished here, I'm going to keep my back flat. I'm going to go down and up. Okay, flat back hinge. Down and up. And then we have twist flat back, which is I'm going to go straight down to that shoulder blade, straight down to that, across to that shoulder blade and up. Shoulder blade, and up. Okay? And then we have arch back, which is I almost never do. But you're going to arch, looking to the floor, tuck the chin, round your way up. Stacking up, arching.
And when would you choose to do that with somebody? When they have really tight back, or?
Ooh. When they are a gymnast.
I was going to say, because I'm...
And they need to have back extension, and they need to be strong in back extension no matter what position they're in.
Okay.
That would probably be the only time, Jackie.
Yeah.
I've never used it.
I've never used it with a client, just for fun. Some of my dancers and gymnasts who want more of a challenge,
Okay.
I'll use it with them. Yeah, people who are going to be in extension doing crazy things anyway. Those are the people that you would put into an extension like that. Okay, so those are those, and then we have side roll-up. Side roll-ups are good and fun. So here, I'm going to start with my feet on either side of the bar. I'm going to hold on to the bar here. And then I could do 2 arms, which is here, and it's hard to figure out how to, you ideally want to keep your arms as straight as possible. You don't want one arm totally bent and the other straight. So you can adjust your hands however it feels right to you to do that. Most importantly, you want to stay on your hips. So I'm going to stay on my hip and come up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So that's the 2-arm version. The 1-arm version is here, going up, right? And then there's the split leg, which I'll turn around and do so that I even myself out. The split leg version, it's the top foot forward, bottom foot backward, really anchored in there, and I'm going to do the same, up and up, right? So I can do the 2-arm version, and I can do the 1-arm version. So on this one, if somebody can't get up, you can raise the springs to give them a little more assistance. It's not that easy to do these ones. These I do consider to be much more back safe than the rolling. Right? The rolling you can't do with somebody who's a disc or osteoporosis. You could potentially do flat back if you're sure they can stay in flat back. So in a group class setting, it's not a good idea because it's really hard to control. But if somebody's getting really strong and they're pretty athletic and you want to try hinge back because they have a disc thing and you don't want to do round back, you could do that one-on-one. And you just make sure they're upright. And then you could do the side ones too. Right? There's not a lot of side bend happening, and if they're doing it right, there's no loaded flexing. So it's okay, but you don't want to do it with somebody who's not strong enough for it. Because that will for sure make them do something wrong, not quite right in the exercise, and then could potentially hurt them at that point. Okay? But it is safe for osteoporosis too, because there's no loaded compression at the thoracic spine, or actually anywhere in the spine.